The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The lower house is split on whether to defend former President Rodrigo Duterte from the International Criminal Court's drug war investigation. Deputy House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, along with 18 other congressmen, filed a resolution seeking to prevent the ICC from investigating the drug war. They maintain that the ICC no longer has jurisdiction over the drug war case since the Philippines is no longer a member of the ICC.
Okay mag-dialogue sa ICC pero hindi pwede naman silang maghuhusga, hindi sila pwede ang magdidikta. Ang maghuhusga ang taong bayang Pilipino.
Meanwhile, Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman says that the ICC should still have jurisdiction over human rights crimes committed before the country withdrew from the Rome Statute. He added that Duterte's allies should not be allowed to clear the former president of his alleged crimes against humanity. The Human Rights Watch echoes this sentiment, saying that lawmakers don't need to defend Duterte if there was no crime committed.
Impact kasi nito para tuloy dahil dito sa ginawa nilang pagpasa ng resolution para na rin nilang sinasabi na tama yung assertion o yung desisyon ng ICC na talagang walang ginawa itong gobyernong ito na panagutin yung mga may sala doon sa drug war.
Metro Manila commuters frequently using railways are in for a tougher commute, with the PNR suspending its operations for up to 5 years. Meanwhile, fare hike proposals for the LRT and MRT are also being pushed. Gerald De La Peña with the report.
Commuters who frequently take the Philippine National Railways will have to look for other means of transportation. This, as the Department of Transportation announced that it will suspend PNR operations for as long as 5 years to give way for the construction of the North-South Commuter Railway project. This will connect Calamba in Laguna and Clark in Pampanga. DOTR's plan is to temporarily suspend operations of the Alabang-Calamba route before the end of May, while the Alabang-Tutuban route will be closed by August. With 30,000 passengers affected by the closure, the DOTR is eyeing to give out special permits for buses that will ferry passengers in PNR stations. 2,000 passengers will also be affected by the suspension of trips from Alabang to Calamba.
Sensitive kami doon sa kung saan nasanay yung mga workers, kung saan nasanay yung mga estudyante, kung saan nasanay yung mga professionals na sumakay, Magallanes, Buendia, Paco, Santa Mesa, sa ating mga estudyante sa PUP. Doon dapat may pipick up.
Chavez said the government will be able to save 15 billion pesos in construction costs. Meantime, the newly established Rail Regulation Unit of the DOTR has heard the petition for the fare hikes of LRT Lines 1 and 2 and MRT Line 3, as well as those opposing it. The Light Rail Manila Corporation, which operates the LRT Line 1, has asked to increase its minimum fare from 13 pesos to 17 pesos, which will bring the end-to-end fare to 44 pesos from 30 pesos. The LRMC explains that the agreed-upon fare, which is higher than the existing fare, was not followed when it assumed operations of the train line in 2015. This resulted in losses of over 1.46 billion pesos.
Ang legal basis po nito is yung concession agreement, which states that the notional fare should adjust automatically every 2 years. Starting August 1, 2016, despite the fact that LRMC has been affected by the pandemic and despite the fact that we have not gotten any fare increase, tinuloy po namin lahat ng obligasyon namin under the CA. We improved the system.
The LRT administration, which runs the LRT Line 2, said it hasn't increased fares in 11 years, and it's high time for one, given that its losses have ballooned to over 7 billion pesos. It asks the DOTR to allow the increase in minimum fare to 13 pesos from 11 pesos, which will bring the maximum fare to 33 pesos from 28 pesos. The LRTA said that this will be barely felt by passengers.
Around 17% hindi makaka-experience ng increase. Meron data yon kanina. Why? Kasi nga, pagka yung hinihingi naming increase, pagka nilatag mo na yun sa fare matrix, hindi sila apektado. Isa or dalawang estasyon lang. So pagka nilatag mo sa fare matrix yun, hindi magbabago yung binabayaran niya.
For the MRT3, it is asking a minimum fare of 17 pesos from 14 pesos, bringing the maximum fare to 34 pesos. Civil society groups question the timing of the fare hike.
Bumagsak na po yung tunay na halaga ng regional minimum wage na 570, na para po sa inyong malamang ay barya lang. Pero sa isang manggagawa no, napakahalaga ng kada piso. Yung pong binabanggit natin na 8 pesos lang ang mawawala, hindi ka naman one way lang. In this time na hindi pa nga nakaka-recover talaga from the pandemic, maraming nawala ng trabaho, marami ang kinumpressed work week at humarap sa reduction ng trabaho.
The DOTR will decide on the fare hikes in 40 days. If approved, this will take effect in April.
Same manifestation, Your Honor. We request a copy of the position paper.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says fighter jets are ready to shoot down potential spy balloons. This after the United States shot down a Chinese weather balloon suspected to be a spy craft earlier this month. More details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
Our jets are ready. That was the message from Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, saying the UK would do whatever it takes to keep its skies safe after a series of unidentified objects was shot down across North America. The Defence Secretary Ben Wallace announced a security review over suggestions that such objects could have already crossed UK airspace. So what's going on here? Well, the string of incidents has led to increased paranoia about what exactly is going on in the skies, with fingers pointing from Washington to Beijing and back again. Now, while we simply do not know the details about many of the objects shot down, Washington claims at least one was a Chinese spy balloon. Now, after coming under pressure for taking days to give details about that balloon's whereabouts, the White House is now seeking to reassure Americans that scanning the skies and taking firm actions to keep them safe. Beijing, though, has hit back, claiming this was a weather balloon and suggested that US balloons have crossed into its airspace at least 10 times over the past year. So we have these fingers pointing west to east as intelligence officials try to analyze the debris to see exactly what these items are.
A 50-year-old marathoner has become the first Filipina to complete the World Marathon Challenge. Her inspiration, a foundation for disadvantaged kids in her hometown of Bacolod. Gretchen Ho with the story.
7 marathons, 7 continents, 7 days. The World Marathon Challenge is one of the most grueling, physically demanding, and logistically challenging races in the world. For 7 straight days, participants flew from one continent to the other, braving the strong winds and freezing temperatures of the Antarctica, all the way to the hot and humid weather of Brazil. Among the pack of runners stood out Pinay Julie Oichiat, who carried the Philippine flag proudly with her as she started off an adventure of a lifetime.
Sometimes you can't really see anything anymore. You just keep going, and I just want to raise the Philippine flag in Antarctica. And that was my goal, and I want to finish. I want to raise the flag.
There were those who couldn't make it to the finish line, but the Negros-born Oichiat kept on and finished 4th in Antarctica, 3rd in Cape Town, South Africa, 2nd in Perth, Australia, and then went on to win the Dubai, Spain, Brazil, and Miami legs. Oichiat won 4 out of the 7 races, but went head-to-head in the overall results with USA's Keen Derder, who finished with a faster average time of 3:49.23, just 4 seconds below the time of Julie. Still, it was a champion's conquest to finish the challenge and win the races.
This has pretty much consumed my life in the last 9 months of rigorous training. I mean, we've done back-to-back marathon distances in trainings.
The more impressive feat, Julie is about to turn 50. She says she only started running seriously at the age of 44 because of her sister, who is also a runner. The registered nurse migrated about 30 years ago from her hometown in Bacolod and is now working as a director for clinical services in Arizona. But even with the distance, she's never forgotten where she came from. Julie, like many others who took part in the World Marathon Challenge, is running for a cause. She's decided to adopt the Kalipay Negrense Foundation, a non-government organization that takes care of disadvantaged kids.
Kalipay, we rescue and we take care, full-time take care of abused children. And I'm talking of really little children with a lot of trauma.
I just saw the faces of those kids, you know, the longing for love and affection. And these are abused kids, neglected kids. And we saw how the staff at Kalipay embraced them, loved them, and just giving them a chance to a new life.
As of today, Julie has raised about $30,000 or about 1.6 million pesos on her GoFundMe page, which she says her husband has promised to double. Now, all of the proceeds will be used to build a healing center for the children of Kalipay.
She's a huge blessing. My God, she's a Filipina, Gretchen, and she's from Negros.
For the kids and the Philippines, Julie has served as a bright light, and her undaunting spirit has definitely made long strides all over the world and in the hearts and minds of many.
Hard work, determination, commitment, having that strong mindset that you can do something and just make it happen. Mabuhay. Mabuhay. Yeah, very proud.
Gretchen Hall, We Are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.